So, so like, I'm going to go through all of those little notes again. So I'm just starting the recording. So you missed the little sound clearing. But really, what I'm saying is that 2026, we have a new temple format, right? So this isn't just a meeting or coming to listen to the transmission, although you can fast forward if you're recording and just listen to that part if that's all you want, right? But this is a breathing portal for magic and manifestation and mutual support. So we're gathering to share what's going on with us, to be witnessed, to kind of weave into the tapestry of Goddess Life Ministries, supporting each other, right? We want to support your transitions, your journeys, and we want to celebrate your success is our success as a community. So this is for all of us. I don't want you to come only for the transmission. I mean, sometimes that's all you need, but also to know, like, if you have something that you like to offer, if you would like to participate in any kind of way, um, I want you to share that, right? When you offer your gifts, then you activate the field for everybody. So that being said, and now that it's on the recording, supporting Goddess Life Ministries. So, the biggest way that you can, as an individual, become a supporter is either having a Living Goddess membership or an embodied um, membership, right? The embodiment membership is with all of the ceremonies that Goddess Life hosts. And the Living Goddess membership includes the student, all aspects of university, and the Embodied Goddess um, membership. So you can also make a single tax deductible donation at any time. And all the donations are essentially used for our main mission, which is supporting women with children in transition. The age of those children, it's not a cap. We go through transitions at all levels and at all ages of our life. So we just want to be able to support women and children moving through transition of any kind. Sometimes it's spiritual, mental, physical, sometimes it's all together. If you have a business and you'd like to support us, you can as a sponsor, right? So either sponsoring a specific event or work in general. Sponsors are featured in all of our event promotions, the website, in all of our materials, and some other things that we can talk about. It's a mutual amplifying relationship that we like to build, or that we are wanting to build with businesses going forward. So when you support us, we're able to support you back. So general housekeeping announcements, candle service. So all year long, we are offering scheduled portal candle service. To participate, it's in the event section in the event list in university, but you will need, we're working on the links because it's a lot of stuff in there. So I'm working on the links all day today. Hopefully I'll be done by the end of the day, but you're going to need to click through. It's going to take you to the website. All of the events are going to be hosted on LaMeel.com. So when you click the link, it's going to take you to LaMeel.com. And that's where you register and pay for whatever events that are in university. And you can get any add-ons um, there as well, right? New moon circles, those are scheduled and they have kits. They're not required, but if you'd like a kit, you're going to want to order the kit prior to the ceremony a week at least, because it's going to take us 3 days to get you the kits. The kits are already put together, but depending on where you are, it's going to take at least 3 days because we try to ship everything out 3 day service. Let's see. And if you get the kit late, remember new moons have a 7 day window. So if you get the kit and or you cannot make the live new moon ritual, you still have 3 days, because I believe all of the new moon rituals are scheduled on the actual new moon instead of us waiting till like Saturday or whatever day. They're actually on the actual day and they're later in the evening. Um, let's see. The candle services, replays, I think I said that, are available. I don't see this in my notes, but if you were in the candle service that started on Christmas, that went through the new year, the candles are done. So this evening, I will start delivering the readings. Anybody who was in the abundance candle service that started on the 1st, those candles are still going. So it probably will be the end of the week before you get those. Ongoing fundraising. So we are looking to install at least 12 free food fridges along the East Coast this year. And so we do need refrigerator donations, volunteers to paint and decorate these fridges, people to sponsor the fridge. And by sponsoring, essentially, if you have a business or help us find a business that will allow us to plug a refrigerator in outside and kind of keep an eye on it. And then people to adopt a fridge, which means that you help us restock and keep it clean. And if our greenhouse doesn't or can't deliver or doesn't have enough food to stock it, then we send gift cards and ask you to go and get produce to put in there. The point of, we will have some non-produce items in there, but the point of having a food fridge is to give those in needs in the community fresh food, right? There are now a lot of pantries that are offering more fresh produce, and sometimes they get more in the spring and summer, less in the fall and winter. But this is just a refrigerator where people can come and take whatever is needed. There's no monitoring. We just want sponsors and people to adopt the fridges to keep them clean and to make sure that we can keep them stocked as much as possible. Upcoming events. So we have our gala, and the I don't know where Diana is. She is in charge of the coordination of these two events that we have on the schedule. But we have October 17th. It's going to be our biggest fundraiser in Richmond. We do need volunteers for setup, for planning. For the day of, we don't need volunteers for the day of, but we do want you guys to come out and celebrate. 100% of those proceeds go to GoddessLife Ministries for the support work that we're doing. The children's activity fundraiser, we do need volunteers on the day of and for coordination. And if you know businesses that are willing to come out and offer services that are great for kids, for families, that would be awesome too. That's July 26th. Now we have the Reset and Manifest Women's Day retreat. That is June 28th. It is all day. And that is our third fundraiser for the year. So we do need volunteers to help in the prep. And we would love, if you can't volunteer, to just come out and spend the day with us. And you'll be able to purchase your tickets. Like I said, we are putting all of the links in today and more information. Temple flow. So that this is also going to change and be a little more consistent. The first Sunday of every month, temple is always going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But on the first Sunday of the month, we're going to do temple at 1. We're going to do the power of 8 at 6. And we're going to do the cacao ceremony at 8. The cacao ceremony and the power of 8 are open to women even outside of university. However, if we do not have at least 4 women who have RSVP'd and are paid for that power of 8, then it will naturally cancel itself out because we need people there to make that happen. The cacao ceremony, you guys can come and just have cacao with me. I will be there at 8 p.m. regardless, as long as there's somebody in there with me. And you can order cacao, okay? You can order on the description. There will be a link. Actually, I'm so proud of this. So the way that we're going to be checking out for events, if you RSVP and you have a Living Goddess membership or a embodied membership, the link to just go straight to Lux and Light and get your cacao is there. If you're purchasing a ticket to the cacao, then you'll be able to add on the kit right there in the checkout. Proud of myself because I did that myself. Let's see. Also, please join Goddess Life Ministry section in university if you are in university, even with a free visiting Goddess membership, you can still get access to that because we're going to start chatting, and we got the voice feature. We're going to be doing weekly updates now that we have, the events on our calendar. And we're going to start on our food fridge prep because we are prepping the greenhouse we're going to be doing vertical hydroponic electro I want to say electromagnetic, electroculture, right? So we're doing greenhouse, vertical, hydroponic, electrocultural gardening. Why? Because that gives us food fast and it gives us good quality food fast so that we can feed and fill. We can feed those who need it, and we can also fill food fridges. We are still working on a program to have donation sites, right, to get pantry items so that we can give those out when they need it. But we are probably not going to do a full monitored pantry. We're going to try to get it. We're looking for spaces now in Richmond that people can come from anywhere so that they can come in based on the size of their family. They'll be told how much they can get, and then they can just shop like a normal person and get what they need, right? Instead of Listen, I have a whole thing about that. Even Christmas presents, hopefully this year we'll have a space big enough where parents can come in and based on their child, they can kind of shop the area for a gift that is going to be what their child needs. And if they are further away, then they can submit their in Amazon gift list, and we can purchase those things and get them delivered. That way, the parent, even though you're in need, can have maintain control. That mom can maintain control over how those gifts are given, right? When you have to bring your kid to an event and then you see your mom getting stuff or whatever, your mom didn't get it for you. And if they uphold Santa Claus, they know Santa Claus didn't deliver it, right? We shouldn't even have anything to do with whether or not the kid, you know, believes in Santa or not. And we should not take away that energy from that child thinking, look what I got, look what my mom did. Because even if your mom had to go out and do something to find those gifts or get those donations or whatever, she still is the energy behind that child getting the gift. And I really want to preserve that, right? And not make it seem like, I can't afford it, so we got to go over here and get whatever. Like, I feel like that's crappy. And I also feel like parents should have the opportunity, should they want to, wrap their own gifts for their kids and not get already wrapped gifts and not know what the fuck is in it. Like, there's all of that. So we're looking for a building, all of that to say. We're looking for a building here so that we can accommodate some of these things, and hopefully we'll be able to do more fundraising events in 2027 in our own space. Whew. So that's all the housekeeping. I don't know. Like I said, I can't see you guys, so oh hey, how are you? I think it might just be us in here. I was like, I can't see you guys, but let me check the chat. Okay, so why I want to go into why I don't celebrate January 1st as the new year. So let's start with something that kind of sets us apart. I just don't celebrate January 1st as the beginning of the new year. Basically, because energetically and naturally, nothing is born in the dead of winter. I mean, people are having babies, but like in ancient and natural cycles of the year, right? The year begins in the spring with April. Just so happens to be my birthday month, which makes it all the better. But um, that's when the world wakes up. That's when the earth re-wakes. That's when seeds burst, right? That's when the earth kind of breathes new life. So April 1st is the true new year for me and for many people who honor the cycle of the earth and the body. So while the world is kind of focusing on resolutions and pushing and hustling in a frozen energy, and that's why I feel like a lot of resolutions don't work because everybody's trying to do something new in an energy field that is moving way slower. Not that you shouldn't start new things, in January or whatever, but in that energy of resolution, I just don't think it's a good idea energetically. That's for me. Now, if you celebrate and you love it, then continue to do that, right? Take what works and discard the rest. But while the world is kind of in this frozen state, I think naturally in the cycle of things, it is time for reflection and replenishment and, gentle dreaming and rearranging and planning for when it's warm and things start to bloom and come alive again. So winter is really like hibernation and visioning for me. And that is the cycle of my content, how I teach, and how I live my life. So I want to ask you guys not to pressure yourself to bloom while it's cold outside. Use this time to expand into possibilities. So, in the idea of expanding into possibilities, I have talked a lot in 2025 about living in the possibility. But what does it mean to live in possibility, right? It means choosing to see beyond your current circumstances, right? So if you imagine everybody's pretty much seen that circle, that radar kind of thing, and there's airplanes that come in to the radar so they can tell like how far it is. It's kind of circling, if you know what I mean. And they'd have no idea though where that plane is until it is in its radar. Choosing to this radar, think of it like your current circumstances. So when I say start living in the possibility, what else is possible here that I haven't considered or haven't seen because this is the focus, right? When you live in the possibility, you don't really still don't know it's there, but your focus is not here, waiting for stuff to show up into the scope of what you can see and what you can imagine. Living in the possibility is being expansive beyond what is on your radar. So the main question that you ask yourself is what else is possible here that I haven't considered? It means not locking yourself into conclusions, not buying into the limitations or the stories that you've inherited. So if you are new to me, then you may not know that like men in general kind of give me the ick, right? Not just their behavior on a lot of levels, not all men, but most men, all men sometime, right? But living in the if I don't live in the possibility, because that is a fact, that is a solidity in my reality. They just kind of give me the ick. There are things that my own boys do that just is like, ugh, right? But they're doing it because they're men. And so that is a solidity in my life. But if I do not live in the possibilities, then I will not allow what is available to me if it is being delivered to me by a man or being delivered via a man, right? I don't ever get access to that possibility. So you have to, and I say that because my belief or my feeling that men give me the ick, it's a solidity. It is a story that I have a lot of evidence to back up, but it is a story that, I uphold. They just do. Even though I believe in that and I know that to be true from all of my experiences, I am still willing to see the possibilities of how men have something to offer me that can benefit me. Does that make sense? Um, so there is a little bit of a catch here, right? You can't live in the possibilities if you're carrying old limitations, old beliefs, and old energies that keep you stuck in the how it's always been. And that's why I brought up the example of men, because I have a lot of history and the story of men do men shit, and it gives me the ick. At the same time, what I have done is allowed that to create boundaries, right? But not limitations. So, and then you have to stay in the possibilities. So it's a very good example. I'm in a new area. We're looking for venues. And this person in this venue, and I'm honored that we're going to be here at this event space. But I still carry my own stories, right? And belief systems. And so I was hoping to find a woman owned venue. I did not. Um, there's a lot of things that happen in the development of this relationship with this venue and solidifying our dates that brought up those beliefs and those old stories about, men do men shit. But if I was not living in the possibility of how this can grow and be of service, we would not have this venue and the level of flexibility and the number of dates and all of those things. I still would have had a venue, right? But the connections and things that could potentially come from this, the other venue didn't have those possibilities at all. So if I had stayed rigid to my old belief stories and the energies that stay stuck, and the fact that just men in general give me the ick, um, I would have missed the very manifestation that I was calling in. So there is this beautiful balance. It's like uh, driving a stick, right? And that balance that you have to play when when she said the same, when that balance that you play, right? When you're driving a stick between the clutch and the brake, clutch and the brake, right? And you're kind of playing in that energy, even if you're at the red light and you're just playing with it, that is where you really have to be when you are living in the possibilities and allowing new things in, seeing beyond, living beyond your current belief system, your energies, your old thoughts, right? So that's why we use clearing. That's the reason that we use the clearing. What is the clearing? A clearing is a way to energetically, emotionally, and mentally dissolve old patterns, limitations, and judgments so you can receive new possibilities. The statement that I use in my one-on-one and in my own life, and even on lives, depending on if you guys are going to see this on YouTube, you've seen other my YouTubes. I do this clearing all the time, right? And so I use a access consciousness clearing statement, which is right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 100s, shorts, boys, pobads, creations, bases, and beyonds. And I don't think I have the full breakdown in front of me. Hold on. But essentially, right, wrong, good, bad, it clears judgments, it clears your polarities, and it fixes viewpoints. POC is the point of creation. Pod is your point of destruction. All 100s are all the 100 layers of stuck energy, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and any others, right? We're clearing all of that. The shorts are like short versions of clearing the brain's looping pattern, So if you have that, you know, I should have did this, I should have did that. Oh, when that happened, I should have said this, blah, blah, right? It helps to clear that. Boys represents like the boogeyman, right? Like the hidden bullshit. And then of course beyond all creations, all of that, right? So the beyonds clear anything that feels impossible, overwhelming, exhausting, that type of thing. So each word, although the sentence does it, the statement does not make sense as a sentence, you're kind of overriding the conscious and using these words to represent the clearing of all of these different things that are going on. So when you ask a question to open up possibilities and you feel resistance, then you run the clearing statement to dissolve it. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to be able to remember what each thing means. Just use it and feel the shift, right? So the whole time, one, the very first thing that this did for me, and I'm going to go back to this example of solidifying this. Uh, I won't say solidifying, I want to say developing and cultivating and curating this relationship with this venue was I don't usually do a hard calendar planning for all 12 months. And it's my own thing. I have a hard time with that. Like, I have lived in a story. So here we go, personal time. I have lived in a story for a very long time that there were certain things that I did and didn't do because I had children and I wanted to stay available to the children, which is a very nice, beautiful, motherly story, right? The problem with that is that it created limitations. So, although oddly, and then on some levels, I as I'm speaking, I see how I flipped it later on, right? So I could make a video with all my kids in the house, all these things going on, and I was on YouTube and I was kind of going YouTube viral back then, and with all the things going on, that was okay because I was present for my children if they needed me. But um, as things changed, I was always recording. I wasn't live. My story was I wouldn't go live because what if something happens, right? What if my kids need me? I can't pause the video and go handle that and come back. What if there's an accident? What if there's an emergency? What if there? So I had all these reasons why I just didn't go live. I produced a lot of content, but I didn't ever go live. Then I end up with grandchildren. And then I resisted going live because the children were too, I resisted live and recording because the children were too chaotic. Even though I had 8 kids, I don't even have 8 grandkids yet, and they could be all in the house, it felt different to me. These were just limitations that I put on myself. One of the things that I did when I got pregnant with my youngest son, who is now 13 years old, was I stopped doing in-person events to a large degree and was like, I've got to find a way to shift to online so that I could be there for him because I nursed all of my kids for at least a year and I can't go to these events and nurse a baby and tend to a baby. All of this is bullshit, by the way, because years prior to that, when I lived in a different state, I lived in Kansas and taught through the Missouri, the University of Missouri had an extended education program, and I was one of the instructors, and I did classes in my house, and I did them throughout the whole pregnancy, and then 6 weeks after the baby, my class schedule would be back in, because of how they did their timing, and I would literally be teaching a class breastfeeding. So I had no limitations. I did what I needed to do, right? And then I had a different life experience and I left that husband and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden I had all these limitations around what I could and couldn't do. And one of them was live events because it just, what if the kids needed me and whatever? What if I didn't have a babysitter? Whatever. So when I went to um, start planning. And so that also was one of the reasons I didn't plan for a full schedule. Well, this guy says, hey, first of all, it's a guy. Got to get over that. Secondly, he says, give me your calendar for the year because I'm trying to work on planning at least 18 months out. And the venue is new. I just took it over. So if you want to get in and be part of the culture of this location, and this particular location that used to be the Cotton Club for Richmond, right? Back in the day, it was a speakeasy on the top floor. So he's trying to create this cultural center right in the heart in the city of Richmond. And he's like, if you want to be a part of this, give me your 18-month schedule. I will lock in those dates for you. So no matter how we evolve and expand, you are a part of what's happening. All the possibilities, right? So I struggled. I struggled not with making the events, but committing, like the idea of giving dates and times was difficult for me. And that's when I had to go into clearing. And I'm giving you a real life, my hair is dripping. I'm giving you real life examples because this is when I was using the clearing statement in order to get into the possibilities, right? I had to pot and pock, pot and pock, pot. Like if you can't remember the whole fucking clearing statement, just pot and pock. I had to pot and pock. I had to pot and pock. I had to pock and pock and pod, pot and pock, whichever way, doesn't even matter. I had to keep doing it to get to the point where I could finish. And that was just in and of myself. And then I had to meet with him. And I feel like my kids tell me I'm a slow talker. He talked way slower than me. Like it was killing me. And I thought I was gonna die. I was never gonna fucking make it through this. I just want to put it on the trash. Fuck it. I'll do by the quarter like I have been. But I persevered, right? The potting and the pocking and the moving of that energy and what I would say is I didn't have to identify it and name it because I really couldn't in the moment, but everything that this is, uncreate, delete, and story across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. That is another clearing statement. That's the first statement, clearing statement I learned, I don't know, in 2008, okay, that I was using. So either one of those, right? But everything that this is, all the feelings, when you're feeling all the feelings come up, oh, light died. Everything this is just uncreate, delete, and destroy across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. Get rid of it. Let it go. Continue to blow it up. And you continue to say it until you feel lighter in that moment and keep going. It's important. Keep going. So that's how you clear so that you can get to the possibilities. Okay. How do you live in the possibilities? You have to stay curious. What else? Like there was a lot of resistance. My team, my daughter, we were like, right? There was some contradiction in pricing that, felt a little insulting on my end, but he felt justified on his end. Like it was, all of those things. But stay curious about what this is doing, where the possibilities lie, right? So in the past, right, if you didn't meet me where I was immediately, I was out. Like I just don't care, right? Because I can call in what I want. There is something about this opportunity and the possibilities and me working on living in the possibility. The possibilities kept me staying steady in it. So let me clear so I can be more in the possibilities. And you're going to come across that a lot, even if you work, especially if you work like a 9-to-5 job, right? What are the possibilities of being here, especially a job you don't want to be at? You have to look at the possibilities. Stay curious. How can this benefit me? How does it get better than this? And sometimes during the conversation, I was just like, how does it get better than this? How does it get better than this? The conversation wasn't bad. Never, ever was he aggressive, disrespectful. degrading, like none of those old stories that, are the real reason that men give me the ick, right? He displayed none of those things. This was just me being faced with something that was different than my belief system, and all of the old stuff trying to take over, those old timelines trying to collapse me back to where I was. But staying in the possibility allowed for me to just clear in the moment and stay present and move through it. And we moved through it quite successfully. And in probably a university training that won't be public, I will go into kind of some of the other details. But you stay, even in the face of what you feel like, I've set my boundary, I'm not tolerating this, doesn't mean you walk away, right? You stand firm in your boundary, and you clear and you clear. They will walk away if it is not meant to be. And instead of you kind of retreating, a lot of us who set boundaries and see someone testing a boundary, we retreat instead of standing firm and clearing and being in possibility. And the reason that this is important is because that's where expansion happens, right? So then it was like, even if this doesn't work out, I got an 18-month schedule. Even if this doesn't work out, like, everything is laid out. Even if this doesn't work out, I have a new method that is way more efficient for both those in university and outside of university to enroll in classes. Like, how does it get any better than this? And it did, right? So, holding in that field is where expansion happens. So you've got to stay there. You don't put up a boundary and then you see someone approaching and then you retreat. You stand firm. This is the boundary, but then you get to expand because you can live outside of your boundaries. The boundaries are for other people. So you ask a lot of questions, especially the kind that don't need to be answered. And you clear everything that feels heavy, sticky, or limiting. And when I tell you, there were nights, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was literally laying on the floor in my bedroom. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? And a lot of that, almost 100% of it, had nothing to do with this venue or the venue owner. This was me, one, expanding beyond my own limitations, right? Me destroying and deleting and blowing up all the limitations that I had around doing a lot of public work, whether it was just the energy field of other people, all the things that I used and that were very, very valid at the time that I made the decision to just do online. Everything was valid. The truth is, they're not valid anymore, which is why I made the decision to do more public events. But in making that decision, I had to clear all of the shit and all of the things that come up. That's really the old timeline trying to stay connected. Because by making the decision and doing the thing and expanding, it took me into another timeline. And when you are merging out of one timeline, right, and into another, there's this resistance and this final hold. And this is that 48-hour fucking bridge where you have to stay firm. And then it's sort of like when you have a baby, right? You're pushing. And when that head crowns, fuck. But that's the epitome of it. Because when the head comes out, you don't even feel the rest of the body come, right? Everything else just flows. So you clear anything that feels heavy, sticky, and limiting, but you stand firm. You ask a lot of questions. So I've got some questions here, and we're going to ask questions. I'll talk a little bit about them. If you have any comments or questions about what I'm talking about, when we're done with the questions, we can go into that. But these are questions that I want you to, you can go to the transcripts and kind of just take the questions, copy the questions out, journal them somewhere, put them on a mirror, print them out, something like that, so that you can remember it is a practice. You are shifting until till you have unconscious competence in the way of living in possibilities. You have to have this written in multiple places. So on a mirror, on the fridge, in the car, like on the dashboard, like wherever you need to have it, right? And when I say unconscious competence, it's like tying your shoe. You have unconscious competence on how to tie your shoe. You have unconscious competence about how to get home, say from your job, right? So sometimes it feels like you get in the car and then you're just home and you're like, I don't even remember how I got here, because you don't need to be fully conscious and to get home. You have unconscious competence about riding a bike. Um, but prior to that, right, if you just got this job and it's your first day there, you know what you need to do, you know what you're doing, you have some conscious competence and you're following the instructions and you're doing it very well. So that's where you are right now. You're gaining your conscious competence, which you're going to take these questions, you're going to put them places and you're going to repeat them over and over again. You know when you've hit unconscious competence, when something is happening and shit is hitting the fan and you're living in possibilities and you're pot and pocking without having to go, oh, I got to do this. Where's my paper or whatever? You can do it to some degree and it happens naturally. And it's not that you're reminding yourself to do it. You're seeing what's happening and you are self-correcting your own hologram, right? By clearing it and then going to possibilities. So one of the first question is, what is possible here that I've never considered? What is possible here that I've never considered? Um, this is really, really good when it's shit you don't want to do and you don't like to do it. So what's possible here that I've never considered? How could this turn out better than I imagined? These are the questions that I was using, right? Because I got the hiccups and everything all at the same time. What else is possible here that I've never considered? Because, planning quarterly works just fine for me, right? But there were things I had considered but weren't considering in the moment, right? So it would be better for my kids if we are going to plan, for us to go on a vacation. A family vacay is 20 people. So um, planning, and then a lot of them have jobs, and now 3 of them have kids. So planning a year in advance would be better for them and their jobs and taking off and leave and all the things that I don't have to deal with. So I don't necessarily consider all the time, right? How does this turn out better than I imagine? That is key, because I kind of, like it could be better than I imagine it to be. And even if you're imagining it being bad, how could it turn out to be better than I imagine still helps? Or how does it get any better than this? That's my favorite. Oh my God. Even if I'm on the phone with the fucking customer service people, like, how does it get any better than this? I have a thing, and I still have this thing that I am working through. And there we go. I have a thing with customer service. So, am I going to share this? I am. So, one of the things that I have, this, I'm probably not, because I'm going to do it. It's my own thing. So I have a thing with customer service reps, right? I have a thing with customer service reps that are out of the country, not with the people themselves, but one, typically there are specific accents when they're very thick that are difficult for me to understand. That being said, even if I get someone on the phone with that accent, like I have to pot and pock, because how can it be better than this, right? How can it be better than I can imagine, to leave space for the fact that I will not always have the same challenges with the same person? Yes, that initial belief develop because it was happening consistently. So that is one of the things that I pot and pock all the time. And it wasn't something that I did when I first learned this work, right? But like as um I have less and less to clear around other areas, right, than things that are really more personal to me, I start to work on. And so that has always been like, I dread when I answer the phone and I hear specific types of accents because I struggle with understanding um, just because of the accent. And again, it's not on their part, it is on my part. But as I cleared this, y'all are getting all my life stories today. As I started to clear this, what I realized was that when I was in high school, I took a chemistry class. I had a teacher of the same nationality, and she lectured, and she lectured, and she wasn't teaching from the book, and I couldn't understand her. And I would stay after school, and I just couldn't understand the English because the accent was so thick, and I had such a hard time. And to the point where I even tried cheating on a test because I could not. I was doing everything I knew to do. And of course, I got caught cheating. So that did not work out. But I was failing, right? And that set the bar. At the time when I was in high school doing this, customer service wasn't routed out of the country. And, you mostly got English American people on the phone when you call a company. Now, here I am years later, and that is the story that was imprinted, never affected me until society changed, right? And then these uh, customer call centers are being rooted out of the country, and the accent thing came up. I had friends that have the same accent, but they grew up here, so it's not as thick or what have you. And in casual conversation, never ever triggered because I wasn't trying to get something done or get them to understand. Like, I don't know. But anyway, clearing the pot and pocking, how does it get, and living in the questions, asking the more questions expanded me. And as I start to clear, it was like, oh shit, this is because of the struggle that I had and the imprint that I took and kept with me since the 90s. Okay. So now we just clear all and blow all that up. And literally now I do not have that issue with the accent. Sometimes there is a language barrier, but my patience and my inner vortex is fine. But it wasn't. I had a real issue with it before. And I'm just telling you this story because when you do this work, and it seems like it's so small, but when you do it, it expands you, right? Because how many opportunities did I potentially miss in my lifetime because subconsciously I was averting away from any time I had to deal with someone with this accent in a teacher learning, explaining, needing them to do something or understand me better scenario, right? What you miss out on. So, next question, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to receive more money with total ease? So, if it's about money, what energy, space, and consciousness can I be just to receive more understanding, more love, more support, more opportunities with total ease? Who or what can show up today to delight me? And I love this one because it leaves it open for me to really be amazed and surprised and delighted by other people. What would it take for money to show up in my life? As if by magic. And so that is an amazing one as well. How can I experience more pleasure today? This one to me, in a lot of areas, if you have money blocks, is more powerful than what would it take for money to show up in my life as if by magic, right? Because you're still focused on the money, you hear the money, and subconsciously you can your consciousness can reroute you. But how can I experience more pleasure today? Well, I mean, you having the money is going to bring you more pleasure. It's going to bring you more joy. It's going to bring you all of those things. So a little more generality might be helpful. What am I refusing to receive that if I allowed it, would create instant expansion? So even the example with the that I gave you with the foreign operators, it gave me the expansion, it gave me the relaxation. I literally would delay calling to get help for stuff. It sounds so stupid, but I really would delay like calling customer support to get help that I needed for certain things because I had to be at a certain energy to work through customer service support with an accent. So it that question will expand you, right? And cause you to do things to like the all the crazy stupid ways that we constrict ourselves in life is absolutely absurd. What or who or what could contribute to my dreams right now? Who or what could contribute to my dreams right now? I have no idea. Somebody on here may be watching and go, I love what she's doing. I love what they're building. I love her community. And I have a piece of land that they can start farming on right now that I would love to donate. I don't know. I have had those, but I have literally had those types of circumstances happen to me where people have shown up and contributed to me in ways that I could not have imagined immediately. What would it take for my bills to be paid with ease? That is a very nice general expansion question. These are questions, remember, that you don't answer. You allow the situation, universe, source to answer the question through the circumstances that are presented to you. How much fun can I have being me today? That's what I'm playing with all day today, right? How much fun can I have being me today? Oh, what I should have done was shown up with my crown on, but my hair was wet, so I wanted it to dry. Next temple, showing up in the crown and the gown and the whole thing. Anyway, what energy can I be to magnetize opportunities to me? How much fun can I have being me? What would it take to double my income with zero effort? What else is possible with my health and body? How do I, who do I become when I choose more joy? I have definitely learned that when I choose to be happy, even things that seem like they're not going to work actually do. What the most unexpected source of abundance I could receive this week? What's the most unexpected source of abundance I could receive this week? How can my relationships become even more nourishing? What possibilities exist with my business that I haven't even acknowledged yet? That's a good one. And when you start using that one, if you have a business, get a whiteboard because universe is going to start giving you some massive crown loads around all of that. Okay. What contribution can I receive from the universe today? How much ease can I allow in every area of my life? So I talked about April 1st being my new year. This statement, how much ease can I allow in every area of my life? On April 1st, there is an event going on. I don't know what it's called, something about ritual life planning. Um, and yeah, I'm going to try to find it. I can't do it in here. Let me see. I'm going to look for it. But the whole point is that if you really want to start expanding into all of the possibilities in all of the areas of your life. This event is going to be one you do not want to miss, and you want to make sure that you have plenty of time to attend. It will be recorded, but I'm not sure that we're giving out the recording, which is why I want to bring it up right now. Yeah, the life design ritual. Find that one. It's free to join. It's through GoddessLife Ministries. We ask for, like, I don't know, a $5 donation if you're going to attend. And the teaching and the training in there is going to be life altering, changing, expansive, crazy. So next question, what else is possible for my family? What new adventures wants to find me? What would it take to live in overflow? How can this situation serve me in ways I can't see yet? That was a great question when dealing with this venue. What miracles are available that I haven't asked for? Can you imagine that? There are miracles out here that you haven't even asked for, and you want to ask for all of them. What are the miracles that are right here, ready to be delivered, that I have not asked for yet? Who can I collaborate with to create even more? What's the lightest choice I could make right now? What am I pretending not to know that I actually do know? This is good for everybody, especially if you have teenagers and preteens. How could I make money today in the most unexpected way? What would it take to have more support? We all need support. How can I make this more fun? Sometimes part of the stress and the resistance is our seriousness. What is right about me and my life that I'm not getting? What energy, space, and consciousness can I be to allow more receiving? What questions could I ask to create even greater possibilities? How can I outcreate my past with total ease? I love, love, love this. Let me adjust this. Hold on. Wait, it's still over the thing. Wait, there we go. Okay. Um, how can I outcreate my past with total ease? I think that's that's gonna be a new one I'm gonna work with for the next couple of days. What, especially when you're planning your year, what else is possible with my time and energy? What gifts am I hiding from myself? Who am I becoming when I choose more possibilities? What's the next step my soul wants to take? What magic am I refusing that if I choose it would create or change everything for me? How can I be the exception to every limitation? How can I be the exception to every limitation? What would it take for my work to feel like play? And what support is the universe sending that I'm not acknowledging? Sometimes it's not just the universe, sometimes it is our ancestors and our spirit guides. They're all providing support all of the time. Okay. Um, how can this become even more joyful? What else is possible with ease and flow and abundance? What would it take to be surrounded by loving, supportive people? What could I receive today that would blow my mind? And what would it take for all of life to come to me with ease and joy and glory? And how does it get any better than this? This still looks like it's going to fall off. Wait, you guys can't see. So with that, I'm going to close on. Okay, I'm just going to take it up. There we go. I'm going to close out today with a little bit of a short EFT tapping session. Okay. Take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to gently tap. Um, let's tap first on our heart and tap on the head. Tap on your collarbone. Okay. So we're going to do heart today. We're going to do head. And we're going to do collarbone. All right. Repeat after me or silently to yourself. Even though I may have resistance, I may have resisted new possibilities before. I honor myself for being here now. I'm open to more. Even though I may not know how, I choose to allow all possibilities to unfold for me. I am open to overflow. I am open to support. I am open to miracles. Um, let's see. I allow myself to receive everything I desire or something better. Go to the heart. I am worthy of more. Go to the head. Whew. I am the abundance of possibilities. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and imagine your field opening wide around you. Everybody who listens to this now, who are here now and in the future, are glowing and exchanging energy with you. Thank you for being here, for choosing yourself, for choosing us. Um, as we enter this new cycle, I really hope that all of you are open to every wild, beautiful possibility that wants to find you. Stay wild. And let me make sure I did not. Oh, thank you. And I will see you guys. So next Sunday is no temple, but the Sunday after that is. And that is the temple where we're going to be doing the energy clearing. I love you guys. And I will hopefully see you in one of the trainings in university this week. Bye.